Alright guys, welcome to my gaming collection video series. I'm excited to bring this back to you guys. It's been a few years since I've been able to bring this back, and I'm excited to share with you guys some collectibles that I get, some board games that I get, some video games that I get, anything that I get for the game room, I'll be showing and showcasing for you guys here. So, let's go ahead and get into it.
Gaming tech, eating brekkie is the gaming tech. Going for a recce is the gaming tech. Gaming techie is the gaming tech. Gaming techie.
Alright guys, welcome to the revival of gaming pickups. I used to do this obviously a while back, like a couple of years ago. I used to do a lot of monthly, showing off everything I added to the collection, and we're here bringing that back for the first time in a very long time, and hopefully we can keep this going for many months to come, so I'm excited about that. You can see there's a lot of stuff here this month. I don't know if every month is going to be this big, probably not. This was a combination of, some Christmas stuff that I got with some extra Christmas money I had, and some eBay sales that I made with trading and stuff, so not every month will be as big as this, but hopefully there's always going to be a nice thing every month for you guys to look forward to see what I added to the collection. And this may include not just video games, but it's collectibles, controllers, board games, anything that gets added that I'm passionate about in the whole entire game room setup that you guys have seen in a previous video will obviously be included here. You can see we have some board games, some video games, some peripherals and stuff like that. So without further ado, we have a lot of stuff here, guys, so let's go ahead and dive right into it. I'm going to start off with what's right in front of me. We're not going to do this in any sort of order. What I do try to do every month, that I will tell you guys, is I try to get a variety of games for different systems. And sometimes it makes it hard because obviously right now, where we live, obviously the weather's not great, so there's not going to be any flea markets or anything, or any garage sales or anything. So I'm relying on, sometimes going to thrift stores or, stuff like that, or, sometimes getting good deals on eBay if you get lucky enough, all those sorts of things. So garage sales and flea markets obviously aren't going to happen this time of year. So anyway, but let's go ahead and dive right into it. We're trying to get a variety of things. Let's go ahead and start with the Wii that's actually sitting right here in front of me. They're all different piles up for all the different systems, so we can obviously do these one at a time. So the first game on the Wii that we got is Raving Rabbids Travel in Time. This is a 4-player game. I actually just got this one, so I haven't had a chance. Haven't had a chance to actually try this one out yet. But I'm excited to dive in with 4 players, play with a couple of friends here, and see how this game is. And I heard it's actually a pretty good party game. Like the Raving Rabbids series is usually known as. So, and it's obviously an exclusive to the Wii, so I'm excited to check this one out. And we're going to put these here on the floor here when you see me kneel down, just so they're out of the way here of the view. The next one we have here, we're actually going to do these in combination because they're different versions of the same game. So we have Wipeout in the game and Wipeout 2 for the Wii as well. This game, obviously everybody knows what the Wipeout series is about. You're trying to get to those obstacle courses, and they try to smack you off and stuff like that. It's a pretty hilarious show, and this is basically the show recreated for the video game platform. I heard that the Wipeout 2 is actually a pretty decent game with the controls. It allows for... The Wipeout 2 says it's 2 people simultaneously, and for the first time head-to-head. And this one is up to 4 players, but I believe the 4-player one is you take turns, so you swap 1-on-1. If I remember correctly, but I heard that these are pretty good on the Wii, so I'm excited to check this one out. Moving right along here, let's touch on the PS2. The PS2, we got 2 great games on the PS2 that I actually played both of them, and I'm really excited to get more into these games. Let's start with the first one here. This is Rez on the PS2. Obviously, Rez is a really popular game, music-driven, action kind of game. That's really popular. I think you guys have obviously heard this one enough, and I've never actually played this game, not the original. I played the VR version that was recreated on the PSVR, but I'm excited to play more into this. I beat the first 2 levels on this one, or the first 2 chapters of the level, so I'm definitely excited to get back into this one. The next one we have on the PS2 is Amplitude, another music rhythm game. Everybody obviously also knows the original Amplitude game. Another one that I never actually played or owned. I played the remake on the PS4, and I wanted to get back into the original to see where it all started, to see what kind of tracks they have. Basically, a music track is playing, and you're going through it, and you're trying to use your spaceship to go on the different tracks, shooting the different musical tracks that are going on. So I played a few of the music levels on this one, and it seems to be, just what I thought it would be. And, some of the original songs, from when this game came out is fun to get into and replay on some of these games. Keeping up on the newer generation stuff on the Wii U. A game that I've been trying to get on the Wii U for a long time now because it's always been so expensive, and it did drop down in price a little bit here and there now, and that's Wii Sports Club on the Wii U. The online's actually still available. It's not as active, so sometimes it takes a while to find a match, but I didn't even get it for the online. I got it because obviously it's Wii Sports updated for, with better looking graphics for the Wii U, and a couple of different modes and training modes that they did. The big thing is obviously the online mode and the community thing, but the updated graphics is nice. You use the gamepad to do the pitching in baseball, which is a neat idea. In the golf, you put it on the floor and you do that to hit the ball to tee off. So there's some interesting stuff on there, but I'm excited to finally have this one as part of the collection. Speaking of Wipeout series, again, this time we have Wipeout 3 on the Wii U. This one's not as good as the first two from what I've heard. I did play a couple of rounds of all of these, actually. I didn't mention it when I was talking about the other ones, but I played a couple of rounds of all of them just to see how they were. And this one actually says for the first time playing side-by-side multiplayer. So maybe I was wrong. The Wipeout 2 on the Wii might just be, handing off, just like I said. Because this one on the Wii U specifically says on the back for the first time playing side-by-side multiplayer. Because that's why I got this one, because I wanted to check out the side-by-side, how that ran and stuff like that. So that's been fun. If you guys are a fan of Wipeout, you can't go wrong. These games are obviously not expensive in any way, shape, or form. One last Wipeout game that we're going now to the 360 is Wipeout 2. The reason I got Wipeout 2 again, even though I have it on the Wii, is because this is the Kinect sensor one. This one requires Kinect. I heard that this one... I haven't heard too much about this one. This one is the one I haven't played because I have to set up the Kinect in here and play and stuff like that, which I will do just to test out those controls and see how that runs compared to the using a controller on the Wii. Def Jam Icon on the 360, a musical game with all the what a crazy game from back in the day. Obviously, Def Jam is also came out on the PS2 and Xbox. Those are the better games compared to this one, but this one's still pretty good in my opinion. You're obviously taking a bunch of the rap stars from back in the day. Some of the ones that are in here, let me see. Does it say any of the ones back? I know Ja Rule is in here. Who else is in here? Fat Joe's in here, and you go in there and you battle them out, and you try to use the music to try and punch your opponent and kick your opponent and use the beat and spin on the track and stuff like that. Really interesting game on the 360, and it looks pretty good too. Speaking of my next obsession here that I got a couple of games on here is karaoke games. I like karaoke games. Sometimes I even sing them by myself when I'm here bored just because I like karaoke games, but most of the time it's obviously I buy them from when people are over because we like to do karaoke rounds here. And rapid succession here with the karaoke games we got on the 360. We got the original American Idol Encore. What makes this one stand out compared to other karaoke games that I like is you get to be judged by Simon and Paul Abdul and Randy Jackson, which is fun, after you sing your song. And same thing on this one. We got the American Idol version 2 on the 360 as well, with different songs for each, which is nice. And the last one we got here is Disney Singing. I'm a big fan of, I'll say it here, I don't care. The original High School Musical songs, and when that movie was out, I was really into those things. All those kinds of things. I'm obviously a big fan of Demi Lovato. I don't know if I've ever mentioned that on this channel, but I love Demi Lovato, and getting to get this in my hand to be able to sing some of their songs from High School Musical, from Demi Lovato and stuff like that, some of their old tracks is obviously fun to do. On the original Xbox, we got a game called Dead to Rights. I haven't had a chance to plug this one in yet, but I heard that there's some crazy mini games in this and some really fun action-oriented game. There's this game is basically an action shooting kind of game and a bunch of crazy mini games that are thrown at you. So I'm excited to dive into this one. This is Dead to Rights on the original Xbox. And we got some PS3 games, another karaoke game. The last one for this month is another Disney Singing game. This is just this is not into the High School Musical and stuff like that. This is more Demi Lovato songs, her newer stuff. We have some Miley Cyrus on here, some Taylor Swift, some Vanessa Hudgens and stuff like that. So another good karaoke game to have. And another one we have here is Journey's Collection Edition for the PS3. I'm excited to have this one as part of my collection. I did have Journey, and I played through it when it first came out on the PS3. Completely, but I bought the digital version because I didn't wait for this one to come out because I believe this came out after the digital version. So I'm excited to now have this as part of my collection and, of course, have Flower as part of the trio as well. And they have a couple of mini games on here that weren't released before, which is nice. Moving on to the... oh, you know what? Did I miss this one when we were talking about the Wii? Yep, I definitely did. We're talking about Carnival Games on the Wii. Now, I'm surprised myself. When I looked this game up and I was looking at, party games and stuff like that on the Wii and what friends play, I was surprised myself that I never had this game because this is a game that's right up our alley. It's obviously heavily regarded as a great party game and a great game on the Wii, and one of the best carnival games that they've ever made. And this game is a hell of a lot of fun. I played through all the mini games on here, 4-player action and all the mini games, and it's just a hell of a lot of fun. Definitely get this one on the Wii, and it's really, really cheap. Under $10 when I got this game. Moving on to the Nintendo GameCube, we have Mega Man X Collection. It's funny, I wanted this like a year ago, but this game was really expensive like a year ago. It used to go for like $80 and stuff, but this went a lot down in price when the Mega Man Collection now came out on the Nintendo Switch and stuff, so this got a lot cheaper now to get, so I hopped on this when it became, $20 or something like that when I got it, so excited to have that finally part of my collection. And the other game on the GameCube that I had the second version. It goes with these Donkey Bongos that we have here. I have another one that I have over there. Now we have two, so we can play 1v1 multiplayer. And we have the original Donkey Konga. For some reason, I only had the second one, and Donkey Konga 1 is easily better than the second one because it has some better songs like the Mario Classic songs, some Zelda theme songs that you can play through. So if you have a choice of one or the other, definitely get the first one over the second one. Moving along here, we'll go to handhelds here real quick. Switch it up a bit. On the PSP, I got this as a compilation on eBay. I won this auction for pretty cheap. And I got 3 games along with it. We got Split Second on the PSP. Great game on the PSP and great game in general on the 360. And also backwards compatible on the Xbox One. Gran Turismo. I don't think that needs any introduction on the PSP. Of course, Monster Hunter Freedom as well. Doesn't need any introduction on the PSP. So I'm excited to have those as part of the collection as well. Resident Evil Revelations on the 3DS. This game looks so good and plays really well in 3D. I'm a big fan of the 3D on the 3DS. I don't know. Some people, it seems like it's a hit or miss between who you ask and who you talk to. But I really love the 3D, and this game really shines in 3D. And it's a lot of fun to play through. And another game that I was surprised I never had, because this is a great game on the Nintendo DS. Like, amazing. Like, I played like the first quarter of this game already, and I'm already in love with it, and I can't believe it took me this long to buy it and play the game, because I never played it before, and that's Grand Theft Auto China Wars. I never had this game on any other platforms it came out for. It came out on the PSP as well, and on the DS it uses some of the touchscreen stuff for innovative like puzzle mechanics and starting your car and stuff like that, and it's just so much cool stuff in this game. The way that they fit this into a handheld for Grand Theft Auto and so many innovative ideas, it just works so well. Such a great game on the Nintendo 2DS. Not 2DS, but DS. Another game on handheld system. We got 2 for the Game Boy Advance. We got Fire Pro Wrestling Loose on the Game Boy Advance, and we also got Super Dodgeball Advance complete in box. Very nice condition as well. Super Dodgeball is a great game on the Game Boy Advance. I had a lot of fun playing that, coming from the NES version that I like so much. Fire Pro Wrestling is a game I'm trying to get into now and learn the controls because it plays very differently than other games. But I keep hearing so many good things about Fire Pro Wrestling, which is why I got this one to check it out, because I heard this is like the best one from back in the day. So I'm excited to dive into that too. And I believe the last game on a handheld system that we got this month on the Game Gear is Sonic Chaos. So I'm excited to dive into the Sonic game on that one. Moving on to let's get these board games out of the way here. Let's do some board games, switch it up a little bit. We got the 8-bit box. So keeping up with the video game theme, this is a really cool board game. You can see here on the back how it's set up. Basically, it's like if you bought a system like an Xbox, and this is like the box is basically like you bought an Xbox, and it has controllers inside and the dice that you need and stuff like that. And then you buy different games for it. So you buy the 3 games that it starts you off with. Is let's see, what are the 3 games that this thing starts with that I can't remember? Pixord, which is a Pac-Man ripoff, Outspeed, which is like a F-Zero type of game, and Stadium, which is like a stadium events kind of game. And you basically use the components for those games and you put it into the system by using the controllers and stuff like that and play those games. I hope that they keep going with this game. I know that they already announced the 4th game coming to this, because it's a really cool idea to have like a main system with the main components and then buy like little expansion boxes based on real life video games and putting them in here. So I haven't got a chance to play this because it's hard to get 4-player games played in this house because there's always more people than that. But I'm excited for that one when I get to 4 people, and keeping up with the 4-player trend that I'm excited to get into. Chronicles of Crime, one of the games that a lot of people talked about being the best of 2018. basically uses your iPhone and iPad, and you're trying to solve cases, and they have a bunch of different cases in the app that get updated, and there's innovative things in the game, like using some VR goggles that you can put on, and when you play next to your phone, and you're looking around the room with VR goggles in 3D, trying to find clues and stuff like that. Really, really excited to get into this one when I have only 4 players. So, Chronicles of Crime, if you haven't checked this out, check it out, because it's the best game of 2018, from what everyone keeps saying, so... And the last board game we have here, which we played multiple times already over the holidays, is Good Critters. Good Critters is a bluffing slash, how to describe it, a bluffing looting type of game. Basically, there's a bunch of loot on the table, and there's a main boss that has to divide the loot amongst all the players. But if the players don't agree with him, they'll throw back at him, but you want them to agree with you, so you want to share the loot as evenly as possible, but still make sure you're getting the even pot of the loot as well. So it's a give or take back and forth, and you know, trying to make the table happy and you happy, and who you're going to piss off and who you're going to make, rivalries with and stuff like that. So really, really good party game, plays up to 8 people. This is a great game. All right, let's do some controllers since we have some of these on the way here. Let's do some of the first of the generation games here. Xbox One controller, because one of my Xbox One controllers was feeling kind of broken with the buttons getting stuck and stuff, so I had to replace with the 4th one that I had. And I got this edition. I really like the color scheme. I like the white and the blue/green on the back, and I really like the silver, how this stands out. So, Xbox controller there. We'll leave this off to the side. And, of course, we got the Nintendo Switch controller, the Super Smash edition for the Pro controller. So I have 3 Pro controllers now. When I like one of the other editions that I haven't gotten, I'll be getting another Pro controller to finally have 4. But I'm excited to have the Super Smash as part of the collection. And keeping up with the Super Smash theme, we have 2 GameCube controllers from the Super Smash. They're actually 2 different versions. There's one version for the original Wii U, then when they came out with it, that the logo is slightly different, even though it looks similar. But the Wii U version is actually really sought after, and it's really expensive to get online. And then we obviously have the other one as well that came for the Switch. They play exactly the same. They look exactly the same, but the Smash logo here in the center looks slightly different than the other one when they first came out. So we also got a Master System controller. I needed to have 2 Master System controllers, so we got another Master System controller there. Keeping up with the Master System, I was able to find a light gun for the Master System. I never had the Master System light gun, which is nice. So I was able to get that. And the paddle controllers, 2 of my other ones, unfortunately, were not working very well anymore and weren't fixable when I tried. So we got 2 more paddles. Now I have the 4 that I had back, and I love paddle games on the Atari 2600. There's so many good paddle games on that system to play with even 4 players or 2 players. And we actually have some right here, so we might as well get into those right now. Some of the paddle games that we have here. So one of the really good paddle games is called Tac Scan. Basically, this is a 1-player game. It's a shooting game that you use with the paddle, and you paddle your ship on the bottom, and you're going around trying to shoot the things in the air and stuff like that. So, really cool game there. The next one we have here is Cannon Bomber. This is for 1 to 2 players, and this one has Cannon Bomber and Sea Bomber. Basically, you have your little ship going on the top of the screen, and you're dropping bombs and stuff, trying to collect as many points as possible, while the other player is doing the same thing, and you're trying to do it as fast as possible and efficiently as possible to get the highest score. And Circus Atari is a funny game, 1 to 2 players as well, that also uses the paddle controllers. And basically what it is you have a circus guy at the bottom and you're bouncing it up. It's kind of like a take on Breakout or Super Breakout, where you have like a swing that you have a guy on, and the guy's coming down to hit on the circus, and you're flinging him back up to get all the things at the top and get through the levels and stuff. So that's another interesting one as well. The next thing we have on our list here is I actually got an N64 Rumble pack. This is actually my first one. I can't believe I never owned a Rumble pack, but when I looked and I was like, I want to try some Rumble on the N64, and I realized I didn't have one. I had to get that. So we got N64 Rumble. Keeping up with the N64, we got some N64 games on here. We got Blast Corps on the N64. Haven't had a chance to play that. And then, of course, we have Pokemon Stadium 2, which I did play. The mini games on Pokemon Stadium 1 and 2 are so much fun. Well worth just owning it just for that. For Pokemon Stadium 2. So glad to have now first and the second one in my collection. Oh, and you know what? I forgot this Atari game as well. This is Night Driver. Another game that uses the paddle system. I haven't had a chance to plug this one in yet, but this also uses the paddle system on the Atari. On the original PlayStation, we have Cool Borders 2. Man, I used to love Cool Borders as a kid, and Cool Borders 2 is probably the best one in the series. And I had so much fun playing this game, so I'm glad to have this game back in my collection from when I was a kid. Moving along here to the Sega Dreamcast, we have NBA Hoops on the Sega Dreamcast. It's a take, obviously, on NBA Jam. It uses the NBA Jam announcer. It's a 3v3? Yeah, 3v3 extreme basketball style like NBA Jam was, and it's a hell of a lot of fun to play on the Dreamcast. So, one to check out if you're a fan of arcade action basketball. Let's go to the Master System here. 2 games on the Master System. A game that I just recently heard about is Speedball 2. This is a 1 to 2 player game. Basically, it's obviously better as a 2-player game, and basically you just have a bunch of guys in the middle of the field. You have a ball, a speed ball, and you use power-ups and stuff like that, and you're trying to throw the ball into the opponent's goal, and there's obviously goalers in there. You're going back and forth trying to score on each other. A really popular game back in the day on Speedball when this game came out. Next one on the list that we have here is Sensible Soccer. This is actually a PAL game. Obviously, I don't know if you guys know, but the Master System is compatible and it's region free. So I was able to get this, from PAL region and bring this in. And I'm really excited to have Sensible Soccer because there's not a lot of Sensible Soccer games that you can play on a home console. This is one of the only ones, except for the 360 version that they did on the arcade. Sensible Soccer, which is obviously also really good as well. But as far as retro games, this is the only way to really play it very easily in the U.S. especially. And it's just a great arcade soccer game, really quick game to play 1v2. Really solid arcade action soccer game. Moving on to the Sega Genesis, we have Road Rash 2. Obviously, I have the first one already, and I'm excited to add Road Rash 2 onto the Sega Genesis. This is obviously a great game. Everybody knows how good the Road Rash series is, being on a bike and smacking each other, trying to get to the end of the race. And if I believe I'm not mistaken, is this the first one that had 1 to 2 competitive? Or was it... Did the first one have... I know that this game is 2 players. I don't remember if the first one had 2-player mode too, but either way, great game there. And the last game we have here for you guys this month is Final Fantasy on the NES. I need to do a better job of getting the Final Fantasy games. I think I have like 2 Final Fantasy games. I think I have this one now and Final Fantasy X. No, I have 3. Final Fantasy X on the PS2 because I played that game and loved it. Then I have Final Fantasy VII that I still need to play because I never played it. And it's obviously regarded as the best Final Fantasy game by a lot of people. And I need to do a better job because I want to play all the Final Fantasies one day. And this is obviously the first one where the series started. I did play a little bit of it to make sure the cartridge worked, the battery was saving, and all that stuff, and it does. So no issues there. So I'm excited to get into some Final Fantasy action. Guys, that is my gaming pickups for the month of January. I hope you guys are excited that this series is back. I'm excited to bring it to you guys. It lets me expand my collection. And, obviously also have a fun time with you guys telling you about the games that I got that month and all that stuff. If you guys have any recommendations on maybe things that, I should pick up next, maybe that you've seen I don't have in my collection that you guys recommend, obviously, of course, leave them down below. If you have any opinions on any of the games that I did pick up, that's down to you. Of course, leave them down below as well. Guys, look forward to the next one in this series, obviously, towards the end of February. And thank you guys for watching, as always. Till next time.
Tech, GameCintechie is the gaming tech. GameCintechie, gaming tech. Eating brekkie is the gaming tech. Going for a brekkie is the gaming